So we had the tragic shooting yesterday with out in DC. I think it was two National Guard members got shot, something like that. I don't know all the details, but you know, I was scrolling and I stopped at News Nation. Looked on the bottom, it says here suspect. They're saying suspect may have had ties overseas. It's always a finger pointing, man. Straight finger pointing, man. Like this country, and it's like, you know, when they say overseas, they're gonna try to blame Muslims or somebody, because I'm looking at the guy and he looked like Middle Eastern or something like that. Sometimes, you know, it makes you think that are these staged or what, man. But it's always blame the Muslims, man. Muslims get blamed for Sharia. They're gonna bring Sharia here. They don't know anything about Islam. You cannot use Sharia. They don't even know who Allah is. They think Allah is some mythical God that Muslims believe in. No, Allah is just God. It's a word used to describe the Creator. Allah. God. You know what I'm saying? Like, Muslims believe in one God, one Creator. You know, there's just so much stuff that's spoken negative about Islam. Funny thing is, all you're gonna do is draw more people to Islam. So this is how it started. People hated it. Same people that hated and talked against it, you know, or looked down upon it. But most of the same people taking their shahadas later on. You know, some people gonna say, "Oh, it was by force." No, it wasn't. Hamza, you know, radiallahu anhu, he wasn't Muslim in the beginning. He didn't like what people were doing to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions, and he stepped in. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like the oppression they were going through. Umar, radiallahu anhu, who was a Khalifa, you know what I'm saying, didn't want his sibling to marry a Muslim, whatever. He had to learn, you know what I'm saying, and study the deen for himself, and then and he ended up taking shahada. I can't quote it word for word, but you know what I'm saying, these were prominent people. They're two main, like, these are two enforcers in Saudi Arabia at the time that took shahada. And many other brothers took shahada. You know, I've seen a lot of brothers in my time take shahada that wasn't Muslim, didn't have an understanding. You know, thought it was this, thought it was that, and end up, you know, taking their shahada because they didn't know. When they started reading and they started like, hold on, why are these people telling me that this saying that is practicing this, but the book saying to do this, do this, do this, and then when I'm talking to the Muslim, they're saying, nah, we don't do stuff like that. So, you know it's bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching Bill Maher with Mike Tyson. Oh, well, they making women, and they're brainwashing women to wear the hijab. No, Muslims been around. First of all, Christians used to cover up. You see, this is the thing. Why Allah doesn't allow innovation in Islam, because these people, read Surah Al-Baqarah, they took their rabbis and monks and priests, you know, they took them for worshiping Allah, and they also sold their books for a measly dollar. You know, they changed the words of the scriptures, man, to fit how, you know, their own narratives fit certain individuals into their society. Look at the holidays. You know, not to down the holidays, but you look at each holiday, it starts with paganistic rituals that were then implemented and placed into, you know, these religions, or really one religion, and practiced around the world, and then change the origins, or try to change the origins of it. But historians know, like, these are, some of these things are Celtic folk tales and things like that. You know, like Halloween, you know, the Christmas, New Year's, which is really 1 week of celebration. You know, you look at the birth, like there's so many lies, and it's like, how do people still believe this shit, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you still follow something that you know is clearly lying, and then they use it to manipulate the mindset of the people? You know, like, to justify some of the things that they're doing. You had one rabbi I was reading, he was like, I was watching, he was like, yeah, you know, blacks, you know, are meant to be enslaved, and Jews are allowed to enslave non-Jews. Like, the fuck? A Jewish person is allowed to loan non-Jewish people money on interest, but not do it to another Jew. So, you know, how is that fair? Yes, a Muslim, you know, blood is in honor sacred. Every person's blood and honor is sacred. You know, you kill one person unjustly is like killing the whole humanity. You know what I'm saying? You don't treat somebody, you're gonna give a Muslim, you know, that honor because, you know, you stand in prayer with him. You know, you're taking an oath with that brother. Yes, there'll be some special privileges with a Muslim that, you know, everybody's gonna do. It's like family. You know what I'm saying? You got a family member, you wanna look out for that family member a lot more than you would look out for a person you don't know on the street. Even a Muslim, even though our blood and honor is sacred, if they got a cousin and they got another Muslim there, they shouldn't treat them no different. But, you know, you're gonna favor your cousin a little more. That's just the nature of life, man. It says one National Guard member, Sarah Beckstrom, died, man. Damn, it's sad, man. My condolences to her family. But yeah, you know, we don't treat people different and you know, oppress people, man. I don't know what, and this Sharia shit. We don't, you know, you can't practice Sharia in a country that we don't run. So how you have to obey the rules of the land that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, what is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a scholar. I ain't shaking none of that stuff. But, you know, what is the Sharia? They don't even know what the Sharia is. They just saying shit, man. It's like they say, oh, you know, Muslims, you know, it was a suicide bombing back in the early 2000s. You know, so you can't be a Muslim and commit suicide, man. And that's accepted by law. But it clearly says in the Quran, do not kill yourself. Where did the Prophet, peace be upon him, practice sending his guys in for suicide missions? They were strategically fighting. A lot of times about a number. There's a difference of, you know, dying like that in the cause of the law in the battlefield and committing suicide and killing a bunch of innocent people. First of all, women and children were exempt. And are always exempt from fighting. It's these modern tactics that are being used, but it's not Islam. You know, I said, the more you keep telling these lies, it's going to get exposed. People are going to read and see. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tell people, you know, not to eat pork. You shouldn't be eating pork. And then you got brothers and sisters, you know, Christians, that they eat pork and swine and do all these things that Jesus never practiced, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, but then they hide behind these scriptures. You got pictures and depictions of people that, you know, you can't even tell the truth. You're not even telling the truth about space, man. They can't even figure out if they went to the moon or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, they start thinking that shit is a hoax, man. You went to the moon in 1969, but you can't go back because you don't have the technology. The technology we have today is 100,000 times better than it was in 1969. I'm on fucking cell phone. Built with the cell phones in 69. Not saying they didn't have cellular technology like that, but not like this. And I believe they've been had this type of technology. Because we look at old cartoons like G.I. Joe Transformers, they did a lot of FaceTiming on that shit. The big screen, and they talking to this motherfucker in Cybertron and shit, like G.I. Joe, the same shit. You know, so we can get the frequencies. We were doing frequencies before they went to the moon, so we don't necessarily need a satellite. And how's that satellite just sitting in space? See, you start asking questions. I had to ask my daughter this question earlier about beef. Pause. No. McDonald's is one franchise that makes millions, has probably hundreds of thousands, if not a million stores around the world, right? Where the fuck are they getting all this beef from every day? To sell, you know, burgers and chicken every day. You know, I watched some things about that, where, you know, saying like how what they doing with the meats. Are you really eating a burger that's beef? What are you really eating? There's so many lies going on, man. You know, but when it comes to Islam, they just blame for every little thing, man. It's disgusting, man. Like, come on, man. Like, just preaching hate. Most of us here is minding our business, man. Like, and then we're preaching this hatred shit, and then we're trying to turn people away from Islam. We got people saying, oh, they're praying in public, praying here, and, you know, they're practicing. Fam, it's a fucking free country, man. This is America. What is the First Amendment? So the First Amendment don't apply to Muslims. It only applies to Christians and Jewish people, right? And by the way, the Jewish people talk down on the very person that gave you your teachings, allegedly. So I don't get it, though. Just don't understand, man. Gotta make it make sense to me, man. But you need to stop the hate, man. I don't hate anybody way of life, man, whether you're Christian, Jewish, whatever. Your belief is your belief. You have a right to that. It's so in the Quran. So to Kafirun, to you be your way, to me be mine. Why should we have to hate each other just because we don't agree on how to practice the faith? You know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't understand the faith we practice. We just spitting out lies and garbage, man. Yo, they're praying in public. We're gonna lose our country, yo. We've been praying in public. What are you talking about, man? Yo, you go to Midtown Manhattan, but we've been praying down there for years. This ain't nothing new. Like, mass shooters have been out here for years, man. Remember Malcolm X, you know, there was a Nation of Islam, you know, they were calling them terrorists. Anything that opposes their way of life is a threat, is some type of terrorist organization. Come on, man. This shit is about control, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, meanwhile, look at the fucking rent prices. Look at the inflation going on, right? Look at the way we living our lives, man. Niggas is working today 80 years old, man. Can't fucking sit down. Listen how backwards this shit is. We fucking work to retire at 65 when you're old and you can't even do nothing with your fucking life. Oh yeah, now you can retire after I worked fucking 45 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing time with my family and shit like that. This is the type of shit they put us through, man. So we out here working every day, you know, can't see our family, can't relax. And 65, or it's over. You can go enjoy your money, man. Take the Social Security. They don't even want you to have that. But you mad at Muslim people. They don't even want to give us the $2,000 checks. They gotta sit there and they gotta go through all of this measures. But when it comes to a foreign country, right away they get their money. Make it make sense, man. They passed them bills so fast, you didn't even know that shit went through, man. You just see the aid going out. But when it comes to the fucking American people, we got this special reparations. Anything for us, definitely. Anybody that look like me, you can forget about it, man. We ain't seen them reparations yet, man. And then you got these dickhead niggas. Oh, I hope they never get it. What the fuck you mean, man? So our ancestors, because you worrying about what you think somebody gonna do with the money, what businesses of yours, what somebody do with their money. If they choose to put their money and invest in the community and better the community, that's their prerogative. They roll with those type of people. If they don't, then hey, you do what you do, man. But why the fuck am I basing what somebody should get or not get off what they gonna spend it on? I don't tell somebody what to spend their taxes on. People get their taxes, they spend it up, that's them. Like, come on, man. Like, that's fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like, whatever we deserve land. Obviously, we're not gonna get a lot of land. But we definitely deserve a bag, man. If we supplement in the back, fuck the economy or what's going on. They printing money anyway. Give the fucking us our fucking due, man. They took land from our people before slavery and after slavery, or whatever you want to call slave, whatever that shit was, right? Before y'all got here, and y'all got here on this land, y'all took land from our people, people that were the real indigenous here, that were already here. We took that land from them, they pushed west, we reclassified them, we classified, you know, everybody, you know, and took more land from people, reclassified people. People don't know who the hell they are. You know, civil rights movement, Jim Crow, racial profiling, discrimination in the workforce. And you telling me we're not owe reparations, man? Mass incarceration. Come on, man. Drugs all in our communities. You think that should affect us to this day? Come on. Knock it off, man. Anyway, man, let me get back to my day, man. I hope everybody's enjoying their holiday, or their day off or whatever. You got Black Friday tomorrow. Don't spend up your bread like that. You know, buying unnecessary shit just because it's on sale. You know, hard times is definitely here, man. This is the time of the year that you know, people spend a lot of money, man. But you know, it is what it is, man. People have a right to as well to do what they do with their bread. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, man, this hate for Muslims, I wish it would stop, man. You know, try studying the religion. Like I said, you had Bill Maher talking about all the women are brainwashed. Oh, they, you know, it's oppressive. He thinks it's an oppressive religion. There's nothing oppressive about it. We don't practice oppression. There is no compulsion in Islam. There is no compression. You may have some countries that may practice Islam a little bit, you know, to the extreme, or they may mix culture in with the practices, right? This is where you gotta use your brain and you gotta study the religion and correct that shit. Nah, this isn't Islam. This is a cultural thing that you guys are doing. But that's not Islam. Islam, we don't oppress our women. We don't make our women wear hijab and cover up. That's a choice that they have to make for themselves. You know? You have a choice, man. But anyways, I'm out, man. Many Face Publishing. I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.